House Bill HB 2862. Short title, Schools, Instructional Time Models. This bill has passed the House, and it's scheduled for a committee hearing in the Senate Education Committee on Monday. It was introduced by Representative UDALL, and what this bill does is that it makes a lot of changes as to how schools conduct their business. None of it good, in my book anyway. But then again, we're used to that. You know, when we see UDALL, it's a red flag. Let me mention to you a little bit as to what the summary says about it. Allows a school district or charter school to adopt an instructional time model that permits the school to deliver annual required instructional time of hours through specified modes. Now, if we can translate that to English, is that you can throw away everything and they can do whatever they want. That's pretty much what the bill does. And it's not a good idea because you need that guidance. Some of the things that happen within the bill, and it's a long bill, it's several pages long.
Yeah, 15 pages.
Yeah, so we're not gonna, we don't have enough time to get into this if it would stay until tomorrow. But let me hit some of the highlights, some of the things that I don't like about this bill. Well, first of all, the minimal annual instructional time is changed, okay? They now can change the determination of the daily attendance. The student count can be changed by the school boards. Any other purpose relating to instructional time or hours. Another thing, in order to satisfy any time, it may be satisfied in any manner prescribed in the school's instructional time model. Now, here's when it gets interesting. Allows a school, if it's adopted, the annual required instructional time can be any combination of these. And, okay, A, direct instruction. Okay, fine. You know, the time that kids spend in school with direct instruction, nothing wrong with that, is there?
Nope.
Nope. B, project-based learning. Now remember, it can be any combination thereof. So as far as the rule says here, it can be 100%, technically, it can be 100% project-based learning. What is project-based learning?
I don't have the faintest idea.
Neither do I, and I don't think most legislators know it either. I'm not so sure that you don't know it either. But anyway, C, independent learning time. Independent learning time. I would assume that means that the kid is really reading something and the teacher is not involved.
That would be my thoughts on it.
But I don't know. And then D, the fourth one, mastery-based learning. Now that one they they define, but the definition doesn't make any sense. I didn't understand. After reading the definition, I still don't know what mastery-based learning means.
I understand that one.
Oh, you understand that one? Well, you're ahead of me, which is not unusual. He's ahead of me quite a few times when it comes to reading these things. But anyway, now, there's another part of this bill that is really bad, and that is that it limits the amount of instructional time in the school can provide in a remote setting. And so far, so good. You can limit how much you can do on a remote setting. In other words, that means not in the school. That means like internet or whatever.
Like what we've been doing in 2020.
Okay.
That's
So it sets a limit, folks. Okay, but let's read a little further. And we read a little further. So what's the limit? During school year 21-22, up to 50%. 50% of total instructional time, and beginning in the year 2022 and thereafter, they reduce it to 40%. All right. Now, what that means is that, and let's see if I can find where it actually says that. I can't find it right away, but what that means is that They can do up to 50% remote training without affecting the funding. And
Or the
then,
number of teachers they have, or the teachers' salaries, none of this, affects them.
no.
Just affects the
you
student
get- you-
who's getting an inferior education, that's all. it
Right,
is.
but you still get the same money. You and I folks pay the same amount, actually more because every year they want more, but the kids are getting less education. And it's almost laughable that in the first year it's 50% and then they reduce it to 40% as though that's a big deal. So this bill is bad all the way around. But it passed the House, and there's every evidence that it's going to, sail through the Senate, and it will sign into law, and everybody will be very happy. And the kids will continue to be undereducated forever and ever and ever. And the language, here's the language that I couldn't find initially. A school may provide a remote setting without impact to the school's funding as follows. And that's where it had the 50% and then the following the 40%. And actually there's more. This bill is all over the place. This bill actually repeals ARS 15-861, and of course you guys don't know what 15-861, you have no reason to know that, but it is the statute that defines, when you have less than 5 days of instruction, if you have like 4-day classroom days, okay, it defines that you have to have the same number of hours in 4 as you would in 5. In other words, the fact that you have only 4.
Or in 3.
Or in 3.
Or in 3
For
days.
kindergarten to 4, I think it is, you can have 3 days. But this bill actually repeals that statute. So, again, it is a free-for-all for the school boards to decide whatever they want to do with the number of hours that they teach the kids, but it does not affect the funding. It's a solid, absolute, positively no with me.
Well, Jose, I don't know how many times I have to tell you folks, if you see the name UDALL on the bill, you better read it really, really, really close, because you're going to get shafted one way or another by it. Now, this bill provides that from this point on, that a student can stay at home and watch Pepe Le Pew on the computer and get credit for.
Not Pepe Le Pew, he's been banned.
Well, but they're going to be getting Dr. Seuss and all of that
Oh,
kind
okay.
of stuff. You know what I mean? So they can watch all of that, and that all counts towards the education. Look, 2020 should have proven something to us, that students do not learn sitting at home on their computer. This is transferring in-class instruction to sitting at home working on a computer. And we also know that many students don't even have a computer. So what are they going to work on? So no, it's a bad bill, needs to be defeated, and we need to limit Miss UDALL to only 3 bills a year. So maybe she can come up with something that's decent.